Mind if I rant about something real quick? I've mentioned in previous videos that I'm a big fan of Star Wars and Lego Star Wars since I was a wee lad in much greater detail. I'll save the recap on that, as it would feel like that one SpongeBob episode giving Gary the most important meal of the day, or that one Jimmy Neutron meme if I do that. Also, I'm just very tired right now. I've been getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep right now. That's why my voice is still very low. It is 1:30. But yeah, been a big fan and still am to this day. But in a few videos ago, I talked about the different types of controversial Lego products, whether that be the theme itself, the approach on the theme, or even the minifigures. And in the minifigures part, almost all of that was Star Wars minifigures. And to briefly sum up those points I made in the video, it was about like print quality, the lack of accessories like cloth commas, and inaccuracies in some figures. But something that was similar with these figures is that they were recent, like 2020's recent. While some of the problems in that 2000s and 2010s era was just that the figures were old, probably less manufactured, and that scalpers were a thing as well, just to name a few. It seems like that the 2020s has much bigger issues and is causing more of a divide. Also, scalpers are a big issue still. For me, I'm a guy that likes to try and stay in the middle ground, as I tried my best doing in the aforementioned video. And I do see both sides' complaints and arguments, but at the same time, I think it's taken a little bit too far sometimes, and we need to just walk away for a bit. Like me whenever I play Wii Sports Baseball. Someone is mowing the lawn right now, and I have no clue if this is getting picked up or not in the mic. Currently, this video is made in 2024, and while it's still a long way till 2029 and even 2030, I'm just gonna say it right now that Lego Star Wars will not change. Probably. In this video, I plan on listing as many big problems and points of criticism that has been popping up in these last few years. Not only that, but also give my reason why I probably don't think the theme will change, while also giving my long shot of an idea on probably how it could change. Or maybe start a change. But again, it's a long shot.
$1 million.
Let's look at one that affects not only just Lego Star Wars, but everything around it and just real life as well, being inflation. As the years have gone by, prices for daily items and pretty much anything we might need have increased, and so has my worry that I'll ever be able to buy a house. Lego itself has gotten pretty expensive over the past few years, and even the cheaper options are starting to feel like that. But on top of inflation and the value of money decreasing, you also have to deal with the cost of the license to make products under the IP. But not only that, but you need approval from the owner of the IP just to make certain products. Want to tell me he owns Star Wars again? I'll give you a hint. Taking Star Wars battle packs that started back in 2007, they cost about $10. But now if you plug it into an inflation calculator into 2024, then you have $15, which does match up. But then you gotta pay for the license as well probably, and now it's pushing up to $20. But if you don't want to pay $20, then you just have to wait till it's on clearance, like Amazon or Walmart. I would have liked to have 2 copies of the Snowtrooper battle pack, but it's not that it just never went on sale. It's that the clearance price sucked. Going down $2? Pfft, yeah, right. What's that? Going down $5, now you got yourself a deal. Other than that, catch me looking at the Amazon clearance or chilling out in the Walmart clearance aisle.
Buy! Sell! Buy! Buy!
I don't think it's an outlandish thing to say that scalpers are pretty lame. They're everywhere, like with gaming consoles, sneakers, tickets, flippers, and even Lego. The Urban Dictionary definitions kind of summarize it pretty well with some added language, of course. This is where I get to use that one part of macroeconomics that I remember remotely well, and that's being supply and demand. For those who haven't taken macroeconomics yet and know supply and demand, then let me use an example real quick. Let's use this 4+ set as an example. It's a Star Wars set, but not really desirable, and it's also retailing for $40, so there's that as well. But recently it's gotten hit with a massive clearance, now dropping it to even low as half off. Most likely there is an increase in demand now, as the supply has most likely stayed the same since nobody is buying it. If you want a better example, here's one about organic honey. But let's take a look at the most wanted set currently right now, being this Microfighter coming with a very desirable minifigure. This popular figure was in a much expensive set that came with this nobody. Nobody wants to spend $650 on a set for one figure, especially if they don't have room for the set. But look, the desirable figure is now in a $13 set and everyone can afford it. What do you mean it's sold out and is on back order? Lego has a backup plan just in case someone tries to buy 100 of the same set by limiting the amount you can buy of that specific set. How effective it is, I do not know, because I see this one guy on Bricklink that has 58 as of June 6. How? There is always going to be a demand for this figure, but currently the supply is not there. And while you have your average buyer getting one for themselves and maybe an extra extra one just to have sealed. You also have that group that goes and buys as much as they can while the supply is low and try to make back from the loss. Scalper. This is the first page on eBay and people are selling it for double the cost of the set itself, and it hasn't even been a week yet when I recorded this. Though the prices of that Radical Guy figure was much more higher when he was still exclusive to the expensive set. And I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like at a point that you were able to return the set and then get like a gift card or so back in return. Not for the full price, by the way, so not worth it. But it seems like a lot of people were trying to return this set, so now Lego's just like, no. I feel like now is a good time to mention that please do not harass or be a dick to anyone that I mentioned in this video, as that doesn't solve anything. That's not what this video is about, and it's just not worth it at all, and it's also not cool. And you don't want to be uncool now, do you? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now go back to watching the video. Honestly, this kind of feels like deja vu in a way with the 501st Battle Pack that released in 2020. That released back in August of that year, and I didn't get to see it till like December, so Christmas pretty much. Prices of this captivating figure skyrocket until probably it gets fully back in stock, or we might just see a roller coaster effect of it going out of stock and the prices going crazy on the third market, and then going back down once it's fully in stock again, and it will probably repeat until it's inevitable retirement. When I first heard that this figure was going to be rumored in a much cheaper set, and those who try to scalp and sell it for hundreds of dollars is now going to fail, was let me hear you say OV ho, OV ho, say OV ho, OV ho. Completely calm. But once this figure got revealed and was released, I'm just glad that everyone is able to buy this figure for much cheaper and doesn't have to spend hundreds or even thousands, if people are that crazy, just to get a hold of this figure. But also, I don't have the figure right now, so who's laughing now? Still me, I found it. Thank you, Target. But I do feel bad for those who got the set purely for themselves, as I've seen people mention how they'll buy the US set for the build and the figures that come with it are just the cherry on top, especially if they are exclusive. More on that later. And when the figure is no longer exclusive or was perceived to be exclusive, then yeah, that cherry isn't so shiny anymore. But if you bought the Venator just for the figure, or you make it sound like it, then I'm honestly perplexed. And while I have bought sets just for the figures, example being like the Microfighters, Battle Packs, and even the Mickey and Friends line, but when we start approaching the triple digits, that's when I have to put the brakes down. That mostly goes for sets currently still sold via retail. I really want Palpatine's arrest, for example, but I want the whole shebang, and I'm not financially ready to pull that trigger in the slightest. Guys, so I can explain. Back to it, it does feel a bit messy to me whenever you bring up the resale value of it, or just wanting to sell the figure in general, especially if it's a brand spanking new figure. If it's like a few years later and you're talking about it, then it's fine, I guess. In the end, it's not illegal to do this, it's more of a just, why do this? Oh yeah, I should probably mention the name of this figure now.
Walk on clankers, stupid fucking heads, and all-terrain tactical enforcer. Punch clankers into the sun.
Yeah, that cool figure that was linked with synonyms for cool and desirable I was talking about, that was about Phase 2 Captain Rex. I know, you didn't know that at first, but now you do. Holy shit. The last time LEGO released a Phase 2 Captain Rex was over 10 years ago, and now they finally have, in a $650 Venator set. People have shared their complaints on the figure, some being reasonable and some feeling like a nitpick. Printed comma, a huge pauldron covering grade printing, and also the ammo pack is huge. Also Yularen's in that set too, poor guy being forgotten about. But here we are now, and oh my god, it burns June, and the figure is finally released in a cheaper set. But now I have claims that LEGO lied and falsely advertised about Rex. Now, why is that? Well, take a look here at the instructions. Here are mentions how Rex and Yularen are both exclusive to this set. While I'm not a lawyer and can say that this is 100% false advertisement and LEGO is a big fat liar, I can see why people would say this, other than the people saying that they should get sued. What? But really, I'm just thinking, why word it like this? It has different meanings, but I feel like it should be more clear than just saying, yeah, it's exclusive, then also being like, oh, look at the little guy. There's many ways you can change this. You can say that Yularen is just exclusive, you can say that Rex is just updated, you can say that they're currently exclusive to this set, or you can just change it to both exclusive to this set to both new to this set. Then again, LEGO's wording when it comes to things hasn't been the greatest, i.e. the whole UCS gunship situation, the video of the Venators release, and now this. And before I end this part, there was a review I was waiting on from a creator known as MNR Productions. MNR is a massive LEGO channel that is mostly known for the Star Wars content like comparisons, wave predictions, reviews, and being critical on the theme. He has a vlog channel as well, which is neato. Now when I say MNR is critical, I mean that he is very critical. And there's nothing wrong about being critical. You should definitely call out a company when they're doing stupid things. But sometimes it can feel a little bit nitpicky and just a little bit overboard, like with the whole situation about the gunship, how it had the Imperial logo instead of the Republic logo for a little bit. Dumb mess up, absolutely. But it's not like they took your pet hamster from middle school and then chucked it to a microwave immediately afterwards. But again, some of his critiques are totally fair and right when it comes to certain topics. It just feels like it can go a little bit overboard sometimes. Not only that, but the content he makes is good, and it seems like people agree with that as well. I wanted to watch his review on the Microfighter as he had some other things to say, and I'm just not looking at one Instagram comment that's totally trying to get rage bait, and yeah, good video. I agree that they shouldn't have used the word exclusive or just used it at all and just say something is new like they've done before, though I disagree to an extent with his opinion on LEGO's comments on UCS figures not being unique, as I think of it more as it's not a figure you would want to have multiple versions of like a Clone Commander, whereas the Razor Crest shows more unique figures being new or has updated looks to current figures. But at the same time, they could have done something more unique with Rex, like have one not include the bandage print, and I think the non-bandage face should be in the one with the Venator, as the Y-Wing is more accurate to the scene it is in. Hot take. And yes, I think it should be talked about more regarding Bricklink now being owned by LEGO and how they take a percentage of the profits. But one thing that is to remember is that LEGO is a company and there was no way they were going to keep Rex exclusive to a $600 set. Not only is it because he's a popular character, but he's been appearing in many recent projects from Star Wars. For example, you have Clone Wars Season 7, The Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, and Ahsoka. And while LEGO is for everyone at its core, its main target demographic is going to be kids. Kids are probably watching these shows and seeing Rex appear in them, don't know who he is, then they watch like the older seasons of Clone Wars, and then they get to see more of Rex and it's like, hey, I want that figure. I want that figure now. To just end this part off, yeah, LEGO could have just done this way better, but also at the same time, it's not something worth losing sleep over. Something that I really need right now, though.
I call it bold and brash. More like belongs in the trash.
In the video I keep bringing up, I briefly mentioned that I think LEGO is the best inaccurate product you can buy, and pretty much leaving it at that, other than that it's not an excuse. It's been with that with any licensed theme LEGO has owned throughout the years. Look at the Iron Man helmet then and now. This This was the first two versions of the Basilisk until they had a much better one, and with Star Wars we have helmet holes on clone troopers. Ever since LEGO started doing Phase 2 troopers, they have never been given the ability to add accessories to their helmets, and even when they released new ones in 2020, they still didn't have that ability. But in 2022, they were going to release the ATT Walker that had Phase 2 Commander Cody, but a compromise had to be made. They were able to get visors and antennas to attach to Phase 2 helmets, it's just that there were holes a little bit higher up on the helmets. And yes, it is inaccurate, but for me, if the final product is still something I like, then I'm okay with it. It's totally fine with me. I like the product. Plus, if they did it in a more accurate spot, it would work for the antenna, but it would not work for the visor as it would be inaccurate. What I'm trying to say is that the holes seem to be more inclined to help out with the visor and not for the antenna or anybody that doesn't need the helmet holes. If we look back on Captain Rex and compare both the two different versions, both have inaccuracies, but both have more good things about it that make up for that. But back to Iron Man, I am just a big hater of this figure. This was an unnecessary change, and a change that is ruined the figure for me and is worse than the helmet holes. But yeah, LEGO is a pretty inaccurate product when it comes to recapturing material. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's this. But let's move on to...
You call that Ben Franklin? He looks like a woman!
I feel like the print quality is starting to be a bit more noticeable when it's come to the late 2010s and now. And it's not like it hasn't been prevalent before that as well. Like LEGO still has a problem printing stuff on black heads, and not only that, this piece on Dumbledore sucks. But one that is discussed as of recent and one that I have discussed as well is Phase 2 Captain Fox. The approach of printing white on top of red has not worked out and it has turned to a little tinted pink. I've said my thoughts on it, but I'll say it again. The flaws suck, but I do like what I have here. But the print quality that bothers me the most is misprints in a way. Now I have one, possibly two misprints in my collection, one being a Clone Wars style Phase 1 Clone Trooper, and more recently the 25th anniversary classic Darth Maul, where a quarter of his print is missing, but at the same time it went everywhere else it wasn't supposed to be. When it comes to something like that with a clone, that's okay, as it's okay to have multiple clones. Maul is cool and all, but I want one that's in the proper quality and I don't have to think about buying a new one. And well, but the misprints that annoy me the most are the ones that are unintentional, if that makes sense. In this case, it's Astromech, Mando, and 3PO that know it all fuck. These ones bother me the most as it seems they can't get the printing on the dome to not be crooked ever since they updated to what the look is now. And if it's a one-time thing, maybe even twice, that's fine. I at least have one that's nice. But it seems like it'll most likely appear crooked and I don't like it no matter how many I have. I trade away most of the R2s I did have that fell in that category for me. Thank you, Simpsons House. The Mandalorian chose to have its printing a bit higher, but it doesn't come like that, but I blame rendering. But when it's that and it's also off, then fool me twice, shame on me. But with the recent update to his helmet, they fixed that and it's off, the printing's off. Sorry, I've been watching a lot of Family Guy Star Wars again. Thankfully, I do have the same version from a different set, but if it starts to become a trend, then it's gonna start to get annoying. And 3PO, feet. I think the feet print works with the version in the UCS Landspeeder, but without it, I don't like it as much. It just seems slapped on more than other printings do. Less is more, and the printless toes aren't necessary in my opinion. To end this off, I want to throw in a surprise in the mix. I think the box on the recent Clone Troopers battle pack looks like shit.
Drop another diss track, and my life is yours.
They do. They do. I'm sorry, but they do. I don't know why this keeps getting thrown around, but they do. 501st Battle Pack, you got it. Phase 2 Cody, Rex, and Fox, the gang's all here. Jedi Bob, he's coming soon. Gunship, Fives, Venator, Y-Wing to an extent. They're all here. It's just not coming out in the same wave, and it's just having more of a slower release, which I like more as it gives that certain thing to a brief moment by itself to just soak in the glory, I guess. And again, this is a company. While they do listen to fans, they also need to make sure what they're gonna make is gonna make money. And if the general public or the average consumer is just gonna look at this as the next Glup Shido character, then no, they're probably not gonna release it. But hey, Jedi Bob's coming back, so I could be wrong. But if it's something that guarantees them money and is more recognizable, then yes.
A few moments later.
It is totally not nighttime while I'm recording this part. Let's just forget about that. I think that's all the yapping I want to do on certain topics. Feel free to mention any that I might have missed or have not gotten into detail more than I should have. But wait, I haven't mentioned my claim that LEGO Star Wars will not change. Well, here it is. With all the points I made, the reason I claim such a claim is... Money, baby. Green, green, green. It's the green you'll need. It's that thing that turns your eyes into valuable iceberg lettuce. LEGO saw how good the 501st Battle Pack did, and they saw those dollar signs, baby. Ooh, cash money, baby. Get that cash. Get that cash. Look at them. Look at me rub my fingers together because they're making cash. Look at the making good cash. Oh my goodness. Fingertips are starting to heat because how much cash they made. They're making money. Look at them. Look at it. They're making the fucking money. Hey, you see this? It's like that one scene with the one scene on the Lorax and the ant that's got the fat ass. They're making the money. Oh, we're like clones again. They're making boom, Bad Batch sets. What do you mean it's inaccurate? It's concept art, stupid. Big UCS gunship. You want Kenobi sets? Fine, here you go. But let's get back on track now, shall we? Boom, purple clone troopers. You want Cody? Here's Cody. And look, you can add things to them with helmet holes. Oh god. We still need more clone troopers. Captain Fox, Captain Vaughn, 501st but small, and Captain Rex, baby.
and Meg.
Yeah, this is the most blunt I'm probably going to be, but I think it's mostly just because of money. Like, in all seriousness, they probably did see dollar signs when it came to the 501st Battle Pack. It sold huge quantities, and it doesn't matter if it's good or if it's bad. They're gonna make money off of clones no matter what, because there's always a demand for clones. And just a demand for Star Wars in general. It's still popular no matter of how bad or mid it is. And that's another factor on why I believe Star Wars will not change, is because Star Wars currently is just in a long stretch of a period of mid. You know what I would like LEGO to do is be creative with Star Wars. You can do anything with Star Wars. Just have some what if sets, which hey, they're doing. You're gonna get a Darth Jar Jar, a evil C-3PO, good Vader. That's coming very soon, and they're actually gonna make Jedi Bob. But wait again, you might say. You did say that LEGO Star Wars will not change, but you said probably. I'm getting to it. It's totally possible in the late 2020s and when it hits 2030 that it's just gonna change, as that seems to be the sweet spot for LEGO Star Wars. But in a perfect world, I have two ideas that could change LEGO Star Wars if it were to work, which it's not. I highly doubt it. One being the most straight to the point one. If it's getting too inaccurate for you, or it's just not being at the level it should be, don't buy the product. Don't buy it. Hit them where it's gonna hurt them, being their wallets. But hopefully if they do see the decrease in sales, they'll think, oh shoot, something's going on. We need to take a different approach, or we need to look at what we're doing wrong. They're kind of doing that with DC, so maybe it would work with Star Wars, but then we run into the problem of scalpers again. Scalpers, seeing that nobody's buying these sets, they're gonna jump on it, and then when they retire, because they're gonna send them to the moon, and then you're gonna be like, well, I wanted this for my collection, but now it cost over $500. Bitchin'. So pretty much it seems like it's just gonna stay as a win-lose situation. My second idea would be to voice your opinions in all the reviews. Review bomb them even. While I've said my praises and good stuff on LEGO and me being optimistic even with their flaws, my thoughts on the trajectory of this theme is kind of cynical right now. But hey, I like to be proven wrong, so I'll see you in 4 to 6 years probably. And that's where I'll end this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on what I had to say and your opinion on the theme's current state. Also subscribe, as that'll put a smile on my face. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go find all the LEGO Bulio out in the world, buy them, and then send their prices to the moon. And also get some sleep, but yeah. Okay, bye.